Hello everyone. Today we'll be building survey creator, right? So let's start by creating the HTML file. So what I'll do, I'll just create the HTML file. Also let me create CSS file as well. So let's wait for some time. So what I'll do, I'll just go to index.html and I'll create a very basic HTML template. So I'll just change the title to survey creator, right? So the next step what I'll be doing, I'll just link the style sheet and give the path and name style.css. So let's start writing the HTML code. So first what I'll do, I'll just take div. This is going to be the parent div. So I'll just give the class name container, right? Next, I'll just make use of the h1 and I'll give create your survey. Next, I'll just make use of the font. So I don't need action. I'll just take off the action, and instead of action, I'll just give ID and I'll give survey font, right? So within the survey font, I'll just make use of one more div and I'll just give class name form group. This is one thing. Next, I'll just make use of the label. For will be survey title, right? So I'll just give survey title. So next, let me make use of, give me a second. Let me make use of input tag. Type will be text itself. And ID, I'll give survey title. Also placeholder, I want to make use of placeholder. I'll just give placeholder. Enter. Survey title. So this is going to be the placeholder, and let me make use of the value and let me give customer satisfaction survey. Also, finally, I'll give required. So without this, we'll not be able to submit, right? So this is one thing. Next, after closing of this div, let me make use of one more div. Here, I'll give ID of question container. Also, let me make use of one more div and give the class name form group. Here, I'll be giving question, right? So next, let me make use of the label and I'll just take off this for. Let me give question 1. So this is one thing, and let me make use of the input again. So type will be text itself. Placeholder will be enter your question. Also, I'll make use of the value. Give me a second. Where did I do anything wrong? I'll just give capital E here. The server title, this is fine. Okay, let's continue. So value, I'll give here. How satisfied are you with the service? Next, this is also I'll give require. Next, after this one, give me a second. I'll just make use of the button. So this will be, I'll just name this one remove, and also let me give type of button class name I give remove question. Also on click of remove question mark, just make use of this, right? So this is it for the button. Next, after closing of this div, let me create one more div, and let me give class name form group, and also question, right? So next, let me make use of the label. I don't need for. Instead, I'll give question 2. So next, I'll copy these two things. Let me paste it over here. Input type will be text, placeholder will be enter your question itself, and value will be different, right? I'll just delete this one. Let me give what should I give? Let me give how likely are you to recommend us to a friend. So next, button type will be button itself, class will be remove question itself again, and on click this will be remove question of this itself, same thing. I mean, after this, what I'll do, this is going to be same. After this closing of this div tag, before the ending of font tag, we'll just make use of one more button, and I'll just give type button itself again, ID add question button. Also, let's add the on click event and give the function name add question, right? So I'll just give the name of the button add question itself. Next, let me create one more button after this. I'll give button. This time, let me make use of type submit, and let me give name create survey, right? This is it within the form. So after ending of the form tag, I'll just make use of one more div. So I'll just give ID survey output class hidden, right? So this is one thing. Next, let me make use of the h2 tag. I'll give your survey within the h2. Next, let me make use of one last div, and let me give ID of output title. Also, finally, let me make use of UL. Okay, this is fine. I'll just give ID of output questions. So this is it for the HTML. So let me check 1 second. So somewhere, so what I've done is, here I'll cut this div and I'll paste it over here. So this one mistake, and also here, let me come to line number 18. Here, double inverted comma, right? So here, I'll just close it here. So let me format the document once. This is it for the HTML. So next what I'll do, let me start writing the CSS, right? So initially, I want to make use of the Poppins font. So I'll open the Chrome and let me give Poppins font and click on the first link. Get font, get embed code, import, and I'll copy these 3 lines. So let me come here, paste it over here. Next, give me a second. Next, let me make use of the universal selector. Let me give margin 0, padding 0, also box size in border box. Next, let's style for the body section, right? So let me make use of the font family, right? I'll just copy this one and I'll close the Chrome. So the primary font will be making use of is Poppins, and the secondary font, if something goes wrong, will be making use of sans serif. So next, let me give background or background color. I'll give background. So linear gradient of 135 degree. I'll just make use of these colors. 8A, 2V, E2. This will be 0%. Also, double F, 1493. This will be 100%. Next, color, I'll be making use of white. Let's keep display, flex, justify content center, align item center, min height, 100 view height, text align center, padding 20 pixel, overflow will be auto. So this is it for the body. Next, let's style for the container, right? I'll just go here. Let me copy this one, container, and I'll paste it over here. So let me give background. Let me make use of the RGBA. Give me a second. Yeah, RGBA. Triple 0 and 0. Sorry, let me make use of and finally 0.1. Padding, I'll give 2 rem. Border radius of 10 pixel. Box shadow of 4 pixel. 30 pixel. RGBA of 000 and 0.2. Let's give max width of 600 pixel. Also width of 100%. Overflow hidden border of 1 pixel solid RGBA of 0.2. So this is it for the container. Next, let's style for H1, right? This one. I have already written H1. So let's start styling. I'll just give margin bottom of 1.5 rem, font size of 2 rem, color of white, text shadow, I'll just give 00, 10 pixel, RGBA of 138, 43, 226 and 0.8. So we are adding the shadow to the text. That's it. So also let me give 0, 00, 20 pixel, RGBA. Let me give the same thing. 138, 43, 226. Instead of 0.8, I'll give 0.6. So this is it for the H1. Next, let's style for the form group. Where is the form group? So give me a second. This one. I'll just copy this one. Let me paste it over here. Form group. So here again, margin bottom, I'll just give 1.5 rem, text align left. This is it for the form group. Next, let's style for the label. I'll just copy this label and I'll paste it over here. So let me give display block, margin bottom of 0.5 rem, font weight of 600, color of FFF, text shadow, again I'll be giving 00, 5 pixel. Let's make use of RGBA. I'll just give, instead of 0.6, let's give 0.5. So this is it for the label. Next, we'll do one thing. Let's style for the input. I'll just copy from here itself. Let me paste here. Again, I'll come to the HTML file. Let me copy this one. Type equals text. So I'll copy this one and paste it over here. So inside this one, I'll be making use of width 100%, padding 0.75 rem, margin bottom of 1 rem, border none, border radius of 8 pixels. Just change this one to 8. Next, let me give font size of 1 rem, color white. Also, let me give background RGBA 255 thrice and 0. Let me give box shadow of 00, 5 pixel, RGBA of Same thing. Sorry, this will be 0.5. So this is it for the input. Next, let's style for the button, right? I'll just go here. I'll copy the button. So where is button? This one, right? So I'll just copy the button, paste it over here. So let me give padding of 0.75 m. Border will be none. Border radius will be 8 pixel. Background, let me give RGBA of this one, 0.8, right? Final. And color, white. Font size, 1 rem. Cursor, I'll give pointer. Transition, background, 0.3 seconds, is margin top of 1 rem, box shadow of RGBA of this one, 0.5. So this is it for the button. Next, let's style for the button itself, but on hover, right? Just give the darker background color. Make use of RGBA. Just copy this one. Let me delete this one and give final one 1. So this is it for the button on hover. Next, let's style for button. Also the class name, remove question, right? So where is this remove question? Give me a second. Remove question, this one, right? I'll just copy this one. Let me paste it over here. Background of RGBA, this one. Margin left, 1 rem. Margin top of 0. This is it. Next, let's style for the button. Same thing. I'll just copy the same thing, same whole thing. Let me paste it over here, but on hover. So I'll just give the darker background color. Just give background. Instead of 0.5, let me make use of 1. And this is it. Next, let's style for add question button. So let me go here. This one, right? ID of add, sorry. So, ID of add question button. Let me copy this one and paste it over here. So let me make use of background. This one, 0.8. Again, same thing. Let me copy this one completely. Sorry, to paste it over here, but on hover, right? Background. RGB of the darker background color. I'll choose this one. Next, let's style for the survey output, right? Let me come here. Survey output. I'll just copy this one. Let me paste it over here. Survey output. Let me give a margin top of 2 rem. Also, text aligns left. This is it for the survey output. Next, let's style for the H2 inside the ID survey output. So I'll just copy the same thing. Let me paste it over here. This will be H2. H2, where is the H2 coming from? This one we are styling for, right? Inside the ID survey output. So what I'll give, let me give font size of 1.5 rem, margin bottom of 1 rem, color, I'll be choosing white basically, and let me give text shadow and choose this one. Let me give 20 pixel. Again, RGBA. This time I'll choose 0.6. This is it for the H2 inside the survey output ID. Next, let's style for the hidden. So, where is this hidden? Class this one, right? I'll just copy this one and paste it over here. So, hidden, I'll just give display none. This is it for the CSS file. Basically, let's make this completely responsive, right? So for that one, I'll be making use of media queries. I'll just give at media max width of 768 pixels. Let's style for the container padding of 100 H1, font size of 1.5 rem. We give input type equals text. We have already styled for the input, right? So let me give font size of 875 rem. Next, let's style for the button. Let me give font size of 875 rem. Padding of 0.75 rem. 1.5 rem. Right? This is it. So I'll format the document once. So what I have done is, I have installed an extension called Live Server. Let's wait for some time. Yeah, this is the one. What this does is, whenever we make changes in the index.html file, the changes get directly reflected in the browser, so that we don't have to reload the page again and again to see the changes. So let me close this one. Let me come to index.html, right click and click on open with live server. So let's wait for some time. Yeah, now this is, give me a second, this is looking like this, right? So what happened to this button? Let's check. So what I have done here is I haven't mentioned actually button name. So this is looking like this, right? So I'll just come here where I have missed this one, right? I'll just paste it over here and format the document once. So now let me check. Yeah. So here we are getting question 1 and question 2. So we are getting how satisfied are you with our service? How likely are you to recommend us to a friend? So the title we have given is customer satisfaction survey. So with the help of JavaScript, what we have to do is, so when I click on the remove, this one has to get deleted. I mean the question has to get deleted. And if I want to remove the question 2, if you are not making use of question 2, then we should be able to delete the question 2 as well. For that one, we have designed the remove button. We have added the remove button basically. On click of this one, this has to get deleted. Next, also with the help of the JavaScript, we can add the additional questions as well. Initially, we have designed only for the question 1 and question 2. So we should be able to add as many questions as we want. Also, after adding all the questions, on click of the create survey, the survey we are displaying just below here, right? So with the help of JavaScript, we are doing these things. So let's start writing the JavaScript code, right? So what I'll do, I'll just come here, create index.js. So I'll just move this one to right. And also let me include the JavaScript file, right? After the closing of body tag, I'll just make use of the script tag and I'll give src. I'll just point this one to index.js. Let me format the document once. So let's start writing the this one JavaScript file. So first what I'll do, give me a second. We'll add the event listener for form submission. For that one, I'll just give document .get element by ID of survey form, right? Survey form, where is survey form coming from? Inside the form, we have given survey form, this one, right? ID of survey form. I'll just copy the same thing. What we'll do, we have to add the event listener, as I said. Let me give submit. Also, we call the function and make use of the event parameter. Inside this, first what we are doing will be preventing the default form submission behavior. For that one, I'll make use of the event and give prevent default function. Next, let's call the create survey function. So we haven't written the create survey function yet. We'll be writing this one in the future. Just follow along with me. You'll get it. Create survey. Next, what I'll do, let's write the function to add the new question. So basically this one, right? When I click on add the question, we should be able to add the new question. That is nothing but here question 3, and we have to get the input as well. And on click of add question 3, also the input has to appear here, right? We should be able to add as many questions as we want. For that one, we'll be writing the function. I'll just give function to add a new question. Add question. So next, first what we'll do, we'll get the container for the question. For that one, I'll be making use of the variable name questions container. I'll give document. We'll get the reference by reference, right, to the HTML element by making use of get element by ID of questions container. Where is this question container coming from? Here, right? We have given somewhere question container, this one. I'll just copy this one. Sorry. Let me come here. Let me paste it over here. So I'll just change the name to here questions container, so that this will be the correct naming actually. So I'll just next what we'll do, we'll calculate the new question number. For that one, let me make use of the variable name question count, question container, just make use of the children as well as the length plus 1. What we are doing here, we are calculating the new question number, right? So that is nothing but initially we have given question 1 and question 2. So this will be when we add the question number will be question 3, right? So that's what we are calculating. Next it will be 4, next it will be 5. So it will go on like that. Next, what we'll do, I'll just create a new div for the question. Let me comment this one and write create a new div for the question. Basically, for creating, we'll be making use of create element, right? So I'll make use of the variable name question div. Let me give document dot create element of what we are creating. We are creating a new div, right? For the question. Let me give div. Next, I'll just give question div. Let's give the class name. I'll just give class list dot add. Let me give form group along with the question. Next, question div. Let make use of the inner HTML. Within the backticks, let me give label question. So this will be basically a question count. Also, let's close the label tag. After this one, let's make use of the input tag. I'll give input type text. Also, let me make use of the placeholder. Enter your question. This one is required, so I'll just give require. Next, let me make use of the button. Type equals button class remove question. So let me make use of the on click event. I'll just give a remove question of this, right? So I'll just name the button as remove. Also, let me close the button tag. This is it for the inner HTML, right? Next, what we'll do, we'll append the new question to the container. So we have to append the new question to the container, right? For that one, I'll be making use of questions container. For appending, I'll just make use of append child of question here. So this is it for the function add question. Let me make use of ES6 instead. I'll just give let me make use of the arrow function, right? So yeah. Next, what we'll do, we'll write the function to remove a question. So let me comment this one and write function to remove the question. So let me make use of remove question. Pass the parameter button what we'll do first, we'll get the parent div of the button. So what is the, which is same as the question div, right? So first let's get the parent div of the question. For that one, I'll just be making use of the variable name question div, and let me give button dot parent element. Next, what we'll do, we'll remove the question div from the DOM. For that one, I'll be making use of question div dot remove function, right? Finally, we'll update the question labels. After the removal, we'll be updating the question labels, right? For that one, I'll just call the function update question labels. So we haven't written the update question labels function yet. We'll be writing that one next. So this is it for the function remove question. Now we'll write the function to update the question labels, right? I'll just comment this one and write function to update question labels. Let me give update question labels. First, what we'll do, we'll select all the question labels within the question divs. For that one, I'll be making use of the variable questions, and I'll give document dot query selector all of, let me give question, also the label. Next, we'll loop through each label and finally update its text content. So as I said, first we'll loop through the each label. For that one, I'll just make use of questions dot for each. Just make use of label and index. After looping through each label, we have to update its text content, right? For that purpose, I'll be making use of label text content within the template literals. I'll just give index plus 1. So this is it for the function update question labels. So next what we'll do, we'll write the function to create the survey output, final function, right? The last function, I'll just comment this one and write function to create the survey output. So let me make use of create survey function name. Inside this, but first what we'll do, we'll get the survey title and also all the input values of the questions. For that one, what I'll do, I'll just make use of the variable name title. Let me give document get element by ID, survey title, value, right? Just value, sorry. Next, let's make use of variable name questions. Here, I'll be making use of, let me make use of query selector all instead. And I'll make use of question container. This will be questions container, right? So where is this questions container coming from? This one here somewhere. Give me a second. Basically this one, right? Questions container. I have just used the same thing here. Then let me make use of class name question as well. So where is this question coming from? Give me a second. Question this one, right? I'll just copy this one. Class name of question. So I'll just make use of question. Also, let me give input type equals. Just give me a second. I missed something. So this has to be single inverted comma, sorry. So yeah, next, what we'll do, next we'll get the output elements for the survey title and questions. So for that one, I'll be making use of the variable name output title document get element by ID output title. So this output title, basically this is coming from here, right? ID of output title we have given. So here I just change this one ID output title. So in the style also, there is style for the output title, not a. So yeah. Next, let me make use of the variable name output questions. I'll just give document dot get element by ID of output questions. So where is the output questions coming from? This one. I'll just copy this one. Let me paste it over here. So next, we'll set the output elements with the survey data. So I'll just comment this one and write set the output elements with the survey data. So this one will be output title dot text content dot title output questions dot inner HTML. This one will be empty string, right? So next, let's loop through the questions and create the list item for the output. So what is this means? So if we add the, finally if we create the survey, right, while displaying the result, so we'll just will be displaying in the form of list. That's what we'll be doing. So I'll just comment this one and write loop through the questions and create list items for output. So let me get questions for each. Let me make use of input and index. Sorry. We give li document. We'll make use of the create element. Create li, right? So next, I'll just make use of the text content within the template literals. Just give. I'll just make use of q. Just give index plus 1. Let me give input dot value. So this is it within the text container. Next, output questions. Append child. What will append? Will append li list, right? So finally, what we'll do? We have to display the survey. Survey output by removing the hidden class. We have made use of the hidden class, right? Earlier, we have to display the survey output. So we have to remove the hidden class as well. Finally, and after that one, we'll scroll to the survey output section with the smooth behavior. These two things we'll be doing. So let's display the survey output by removing the hidden class, right? For that one, I'll be making use of document.getElement by ID. Survey output. Let me give class list. Sorry. Here. Yeah. Now this is by class list. Let me make use of remove or hidden. Right. Next, what we'll do? We'll scroll to the survey output section with the smooth behavior. For that one, I'll be making use of document get element by ID, survey font, I'll just make use of scroll into view, behavior, let me give smooth. So this is it for the JavaScript. Let me format the document once. Let's check now. Initially, what we are getting? We are getting the survey title, question 1, also the question 2. If I want to add something, if I click on the add question, you can see we are getting the question 3. I'll just add the same thing for the reference for now. Just for the reference. So also we can remove this one, right? Let me click on the remove. This is getting removed. Also, if you don't need the question 2, right? Let me copy this one first. So if I don't need this one, if I can delete question 2 as well as question 1. Finally, we'll get the only survey title. Survey title will be remain constant. We cannot delete this one. Instead, we can remove all the questions and we can also add the questions, right? Any number of questions that we want. So I'll just add one question and let me hit remove for the question 3. So these all functionalities are working fine. So next, when I click on the create survey, so a survey, I'm getting your survey and customer satisfaction survey. But here, along with this, questions also has to get, displayed, right? So this is not getting displayed. Let's check what is wrong. Here, so what I have done wrong is, make this one question container C capital. So I'll come to the index.html and here right in the line number 23, I'll just change this one to questions container C capital, right? So that's it. And again, this is not the wrong thing basically. Here also, just make the C caps also here C capital, right? So let me check now. What was the wrong thing is here, this one. Questions container, I had given this thing, small c, and here in the create survey function, I have made use of the C capital. So this was the one thing that was wrong. That's it. Let's check now. So basically what I'll do, I'll just add one more question. I'll just copy the same thing and paste it over here. So let me click on the create survey. So now you can see customer satisfaction survey. Question 1, we are getting how satisfied are you with our service? How likely are you to recommend to a friend? Also, how likely are you to recommend to a friend? Now we can remove this one, and if I click on create survey, the third one gets removed and 2 questions get added, right? This will get changed as we delete the question or as we add the question. This your survey final container. So everything is working perfectly, right? So this is it. Thanks for watching, guys.